Imagine a submarine that could launch airplanes. Sounds crazy, right? Or a weapon where the pilot knew he wasn't coming back. Yeah, World War II had some wild stuff, but here's the thing. Japan built weapons so secret, some of them were barely used, and others were hidden so well the world almost never saw them. And honestly, some of these weapons were straight up insane. By the final years of World War II, Japan was running low on resources and time. So instead of playing it safe, they went all in. Engineers started designing weapons that looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. Some worked, some totally flopped, and some were just plain terrifying. All right, let's get into it. First up, the Kaiten. This one's kind of brutal. The Kaiten was basically a torpedo with a human inside. No eject button, no escape plan, no turning back. Once launched, that pilot was riding straight into an enemy ship. That's wild. Japan created the Kaiten when they were desperate to stop American naval forces. And honestly, it did cause damage. Several U.S. ships were hit. But here's the problem. Most Kaiten missions failed. Some torpedoes malfunctioned. Others missed completely. And many pilots never even reached their target. It was a weapon built on desperation. And it showed. Next up, the Ohka. This thing was fast. The Ohka was a rocket-powered aircraft designed for kamikaze attacks. Picture this. A bomber carries the Ohka close to enemy ships, then drops it. Once released, the pilot fires the rockets, and boom! This thing dives toward the target at insane speed. We're talking speed so fast, American gunners barely had time to react. Sounds scary, right? Well, there was a catch. Most bombers carrying the Ohka got shot down before releasing it. So even though the weapon was powerful, it rarely reached its target. Still, when it did, it hit hard. All right, now this one. This one's straight up crazy. Meet the I-400 submarine. This wasn't just any submarine. This thing could carry airplanes inside it. Yeah, you heard that right. Japan built giant submarines that stored small aircraft in sealed tubes. Once the sub surfaced, the crew would launch the planes right from the ocean. That's next-level stuff. And here's the scary part. These submarines were designed to attack the Panama Canal. If that attack had worked, it could have messed up supply routes in a big way. But the war ended before the mission happened. So the world never saw what these submarines were truly capable of. Honestly, that's probably a good thing. Now let's talk about jets. Most people think jet fighters were only used by Germany, but Japan had one too. It was called the Kikka, and it looked kind of similar to early German jets. The idea was simple. Build a fast jet to intercept American bombers. And on paper, it looked solid. The Kikka actually made a successful test flight in August 1945. But by then, Japan was already losing the war. There wasn't enough time to mass produce it, so this jet, which could have changed air battles, never really saw combat. Bad timing and bad luck. Now this one, it sounds weird, but it actually worked. Japan created something called the Fugo balloon bomb. These were giant balloons carrying explosives. And instead of planes, they used the wind. Yeah, seriously. They launched thousands of balloons into the upper atmosphere. The idea was simple. Let strong winds carry the bombs all the way across the Pacific Ocean to the United States. And guess what? Some of them actually made it. That's kind of crazy. Most didn't cause major damage, but the idea itself, pretty genius. Low cost, long distance, hard to detect. Not bad for a balloon. So here's the big question. What if Japan had finished these weapons earlier? What if the I-400 submarines had attacked the Panama Canal? What if the Kikka jet had entered full production? Would the war have lasted longer? Maybe. Would Japan have won? Probably not. But one thing's for sure. World War II wasn't just fought with guns and tanks. It was fought with ideas. Some brilliant, some desperate, and some just plain crazy. And honestly, these hidden weapons prove just how far nations will go when everything's on the line.